In Al Alamein, President Sisi bids farewell to the UAE president, concluding his visit to Egypt. Egypt's foreign minister meets with the Lebanese Prime Minister Nawaf Salam on his first official visit to Egypt. And Egypt plans to offer incentives for large-scale listings on its stock exchange to attract more investors. You're watching Q News with me, Hani Saif, and these are the Egyptian news. We'll start off in Al Alamein city, where the Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi has bid farewell to the UAE President Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, concluding his fraternal visit to Egypt. The meeting underscored the deep-rooted historical ties between the two nations and the importance of continuous consultation to serve their mutual interests and bolster regional security. President Sisi expressed his profound appreciation for Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed, highlighting the strong bond between their countries. The UAE president, in turn, thanked President Sisi and the Egyptian people for their warm hospitality, praising the continuous development of relations and their shared vision for the region's challenges. Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi has met with the Lebanese Prime Minister Nawaf Salam to reaffirm Egypt's unwavering support for Lebanon. President al-Sisi praised Lebanon's recent strides towards stability and underscored Egypt's commitment to its economic recovery, reconstruction, and national unity. He also reiterated Egypt's position on Lebanese sovereignty and the full Israeli withdrawal from the southern Lebanon. Lebanese Prime Minister Salam expressed gratitude for Egypt's support, highlighting the deep historical ties between the two nations. They agreed on the need for continued cooperation, particularly on regional issues like the situation in Gaza, and the importance of holding the 10th Egyptian-Lebanese Joint High Committee meeting. The meeting included top Egyptian ministers and both countries' ambassadors. Egypt's Foreign Minister Badr Abdulati has reaffirmed his country's unwavering support for Lebanon's stability and national institutions. That came during his meeting with the Lebanese Prime Minister Nawaf Salam on his first official visit to Egypt. Abdulati condemned repeated Israeli violations of Lebanese sovereignty and urged for the full implementation of UN Resolution 1701 and an Israeli withdrawal from southern Lebanon. The two ministers also discussed the regional developments, including the crisis in Gaza, with Egypt highlighting its efforts to secure ceasefire and humanitarian aid. Abdulati and Salam praised the growing momentum in their relations, aiming to boost economic and trade ties. They also looked forward to the 10th Egyptian-Lebanese Joint High Committee meeting in Cairo. Egypt's Foreign Minister Badr Abdulati has urged Germany to pressure Israel to lift restrictions on humanitarian aid and end its settlement policies. In a call with his German counterpart, Johann Weideful, Abdulati emphasized the need for a ceasefire and advocated for a viable 60-day ceasefire proposal that would allow for detainee releases and aid delivery. The two foreign ministers discussed regional issues, particularly the dire situation in Gaza. They also discussed the Iranian nuclear file, with Abdulati stressing on the importance of resuming negotiations and restoring cooperation with the International Atomic Energy Agency to prevent regional instability. Egypt's Foreign Minister Badr Abdulati has discussed the crisis in Gaza with his Danish counterpart. During their phone call, Abdulati praised the strategic partnership between the two countries, highlighting the recent visit of the Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi to Denmark, and expressed hope for increased trade and investment. The ministers also addressed the critical situation in Gaza, with Abdulati urging Denmark to use its leadership roles in the EU and the UN Security Council to pressure Israel for a ceasefire and humanitarian aid access. He welcomed nations recognizing the Palestinian state and encouraged Denmark to follow suit, while also praising Denmark's continued support for UNRWA. Egypt has dispatched its 24th aid convoy under the Zed al-Izza Provision of Honor from Egypt to Gaza initiative from Rafah to Gaza via Karm Abu Salim border crossing. The Egyptian Red Crescent prepared the convoy with 60 trucks. This marks a shift from previous days when multiple smaller convoys were sent. The convoy includes 3 trucks of fuel that Israeli authorities had previously refused to admit. However, Egypt is insistent on sending the fuel due to the critical need for hospitals, desalination plants, and power stations in the war-torn area. The Arab Organization for Industrialization has signed a memorandum of understanding with the Turkish global company Avelsan to boost cooperation in manufacturing, especially in the defense sector. AOI Chairman Major General Engineer Mukhtar Abdul Latif highlighted the partnership as a key step to deepen local production, transfer advanced technologies, and expand exports to African and Arab markets. Havelsan officials expressed enthusiasm for localizing cutting-edge defense technologies and broadening collaboration in various industrial fields. This move aligns with Egypt's Vision 2030 goals for sustainable development and industrial growth. Water Resources Minister Henny Swelam has reaffirmed Egypt's full support for the African Water Facility during his meeting with the AWF Executive Director Metshira Ioannis on the sidelines of the World Water Week in Stockholm. Swelam, who chairs the AWF Governing Board, confirmed Egypt will host the 25th board meeting in November 2025 to finalize the post-2025 strategy and 2026 work plan. He stressed on the need for regional balance, climate-linked projects and stronger South-South cooperation. He also urged donors to increase funding for African water initiatives and highlighted Egypt's new $100 million mechanism to support development in southern Nile Basin countries. Egypt's Minister of Public Business Sector, Mohammed Shimi, has met with Japan's ambassador to Cairo, Iwai Fumio, to explore ways to strengthen economic and investment cooperation. Shimi emphasized Egypt's commitment to expanding trade and investment across key sectors, including textiles, chemicals, mining, automobiles, pharmaceuticals, real estate, tourism, and hospitality. He highlighted the revival of El Nasr Automotive, which now produces buses and minibuses, with plans for passenger cars underway. Ambassador Fumio praised the strong Egyptian-Japanese partnership and Japan's interests in increasing investments, citing recent agreements signed during the Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli's visit to Tokyo and the ongoing infrastructure developments, especially in the new administrative capital. Egypt remains the wealth capital of North Africa and the second richest country in Africa, behind South Africa. According to a mid-2025 report by Henley and Partners, despite a sharp currency devaluation, Egypt had 14,800 millionaires as of June, down from 15,600 at the end of 2023. The number of centimillionaires, which means worth over $100 million, dropped to 49, while billionaires remained steady at 7. Cairo holds nearly half of Egypt's private wealth. Morocco ranked second in North Africa with 7,500 millionaires, up 40% from 2015, while Algeria saw a decline to 2,700 millionaires in 2024. Egyptian Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli reviewed updates on national housing initiatives, including the Housing for All Egyptians program and a new phase of the Your Home in Egypt project for Egyptians living abroad. Housing Minister Sharif Sherbini announced that registration for 1,380 residential units under the Expat Housing Initiative will open from August 30th till September 4th, with the selections from September 20th till the 25th. The second phase will offer 3,000 units, including residential, commercial and administrative properties in cities like New Cairo, New Alamein and New October. The initiative offers payment terms up to 10 years and discounts of up to 7%. Finance Minister Ahmed Kojoka has Egypt plans to offer incentives for large-scale listings on its stock exchange to deepen market liquidity and attract more investors. This initiative comes as Egypt strengthens its economic position, supported by Fitch's affirmation of the country's long-term foreign currency issuer default rating at B, with a stable outlook. The Finance Minister also noted ongoing coordination with the Financial Regulatory Authority to promote new offerings from both private and government companies. Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli reaffirmed government support for advancing Egypt's capital market, emphasizing its vital role in economic growth and investment. Egypt's Ministry of Petroleum has announced the success of the North Lotus Deep 1 exploratory well by Agiba Petroleum and Italy's Eni, producing 1,835 barrels of oil and 7 million cubic feet of gas daily. That's equivalent to 3,100 barrels of oil. This marks a major step in boosting Egypt's local production and reducing imports. Agiba also achieved a breakthrough with the first horizontal well in the Western Desert, increasing gas production six-fold. Minister Karim Badawi praised the use of advanced technology, while Agiba maintains stable production of 26,000 barrels of oil and 77 million cubic feet of gas daily. The petroleum gas company Petrogas has provided 3.674 million tons of butane gas during the fiscal year ending in July. Chairman Mohammed Farhat announced Petrogas filled 313 million butane cylinders through 45 filling stations and 3,028 distribution centers nationwide. The company also maintained 2.5 million cylinders and introduced 175,000 new cylinders to the market to ensure safety. Petrogas operates under the Egyptian General Petroleum Company and is responsible for supplying and filling butane cylinders nationwide. These are all the Egyptian news we have for now, but here's a quick recap of today's top stories. In Al Alamein, President Sisi bids farewell to the UAE president, concluding his visit to Egypt. Egypt's foreign minister meets with the Lebanese Prime Minister Nawaf Salam on his first official visit to Egypt. And Egypt plans to offer incentives for large-scale listings on its stock exchange to attract more investments. That's all for this bulletin, but please remember to stay updated by following Q News for the latest updates. I'm Henny Saif. Thank you for joining us.